So now today we will talk about the stress strain curve of concrete, which is considered in this limit state, limit state of analysis. What are the stress levels which considered that we will now see. Okay, so for that now, first we will draw one graph. Okay, so we will go for a graph. This is your y-axis, and this line is x-axis. Okay, so on x-axis here strain is there, strain, and on y-axis stress is there. Now we will draw the diagram. Okay, stress strain curve. So on this strain you will see here the value is 0, and now if you see the diagram, then the stress strain curve will be for concrete. I am talking about concrete, please keep in mind. So it is parabolic. From here it is like this, parabolic. Okay, and after a certain point it is straight. It will be like this. It is like this. Okay. So this is the stress strain curve for the concrete. Okay, and we call this as a FCK, characteristic strength of concrete, that is FCK. Okay, so now here if we see the point from where it is, its variation changes from parabolic to the constant stress or the straight line. That point if we plot on the strain diagram, if we consider this point over here, then strain at that point is 0.00, it is 0.002. Okay. And the maximum strain at this point, if we talk about the maximum strain over here, at this point the maximum strain is 0.0035. Okay. And if you want to know the stress, now if we extend this line, then on this axis you will get the value of this stress, which is FC. Now this is the stress strain curve for the concrete material, but we are not using this FCK value. This FCK is nothing but the value of the cube strength of the concrete. Okay, when you cast the number of cubes of the concrete and if you test those cubes, then this type of stress strain curve you will get. But in practice, what we do generally, we will take the one third of this strength. Okay, but what will happen generally now when we are constructing a big structure? Okay, if suppose now you are constructing a building, high rise building, then what is happen generally while mixing the concrete? Okay, while placing the concrete, if the method is not right, okay, if the correct method is not followed by the laborers, okay, ultimately you are not going to mix or place the concrete. So the labors are there, so there are high level chances are there that they may make a mistake, and they are not knowing what is mixing and proportions, and what is the meaning of exactly that M20. Okay, this is the case. Just 1 minute. Okay, so now here if you see, due to which we consider the one third strength only. So what we do, due to which now here if you see we considered only the one third strength only. Okay, in the building, and that strength is called as the design strength of structures. So I will draw another graph. Okay, I will draw here another graph now parallel to this, which will start from this point only, and you will see it is like this. Okay, and we will extend it again. So from this point it will remain same, and this is nothing but this is 0.67 FCK. How much it is? 0.67 FCK. Why we are taking this 0.67 FCK? Why we are taking it like this? Because this FCK is the strength, cubical strength of concrete. When you cast a number of cubes and you get tested, then this type of graph you are getting. But actually on the site, when it is actually prepared, it is actually mixed for building a high rise structures, then the properly the codal provisions are not get followed. Okay, due to which we are not considering the full strength, that is FCK. We consider the 30% only the one third strength. Okay, so this 0.67 comes from where it comes. If you see divided by FCK divided by 1.5, you will get this value. Okay, करून बघा येते का 1 divided by 1.5, what is the answer? It is 0.667. Okay, so this is nothing but your 0.67 FCK. This strength is used. Okay, till now this is the strength, okay, which the reducing strength we are considering now. But in addition to this, what limit state do now? After this limit state, apply the again one more factor of safety. Okay, and that factor of safety is of 1.5. Okay, again one more factor of safety it is applied, and it is of, okay, so it is of 1.5. Now here see, this is 0.67 FCK divided by again 1.5. What you will get? It will come around 0.446 FCK. So this is 0.446 FCK is the maximum stress in the concrete. Okay, 0.446 FCK is the maximum stress in the concrete. So now if we draw another graph for this, then it will be, so from this point it is parabolic, and after that it is straight. After that it is straight, and this point it is nothing but 0.446 FCK, and this is called as design curve. So this is our design curve. This is our design curve. We are using the values based on this curve for the design. Okay, so if you see what is the total factor of safety applied for the concrete, then total factor of safety for the concrete is, first it is 1.5 when it is 0.67, and after that again 1.5 when sorry, it is not multiply, plus when it is again divided by 1.5. So what is the answer now? If you see that these two times we had applied the factor of safety over here, okay, for the concrete. Then okay, now am I audible? Something some problem is there. आता येतोय का आवाज? May I audible now? Okay, so now this is our design curve. Okay, this is not our design curve, this is design cube curve. This is the design curve which we are going to follow for our design. Now what is the maximum stress here? It is 0.446 FCK. At this point, this is the maximum stress, and the maximum stress is 0.446 FCK. This is the maximum stress. This is the maximum strain which we will consider, and this is the point up to which this is the point up to which this curve is parabolic. After that it is straight line, and the value for the strain at this point is 0.002. Okay, it is 0.002. Then this is the curve for concrete. Okay, I will here I will write stress strain curve for concrete. Okay. This is the stress strain curve for concrete, which we are going to consider for limit state method. Okay. Similarly, we will see the stress strain curve for steel also. Okay. Now stress strain curve for steel, you know that what is the stress strain curve for steel. Many of times you have drawn that curve, but still, okay, I am not talking about mild steel over here. If you consider the torch steel, okay, so what will be the stress strain curve for the torch steel? If you draw the stress strain curve for the torch steel, then it will be, first it is like this, okay, and after that it will move like this. Okay, so this is the stress strain curve. Here you will see strain is on x-axis and stress is on y-axis as usual. Now this is your Fy. Okay, this is your Fy. So for steel, again the factor of safety is applied. It is 1.15. Okay, for steel the factor of safety applied, it is 1.15. So if you see, this is Fy graph. Now if I apply the factor of safety, so FOS for steel, it is 1.15. So if you see it, the what will be the, if I apply factor of safety to the this Fy, then what do I get? This implies that it is Fy divided by 1.15, and if you do it Fy divided by 1.15, then it is 0.87 Fy. Okay, 0.87 Fy. So let us assume that this is Fy divided by 1.15, because everywhere we are dividing by 1.15, so graph will remain same. There is no change in the graph. Okay, so here on this graph the important point is that here we will draw one line parallel to this. Okay, so if you calculate the slope of this line, what does this line gives you? Already तुम्हाला झालेलं आहे सगळं सॉम मध्ये. Okay, so if you see, calculate the slope of this line, so it gives you the Young's modulus E, that value of steel which we are always taking it as 2 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per mm square. Okay, this gives you the value of E. But now, okay, so here, now how do I get the strength? Okay, so what is the maximum stress? So the maximum stress will be, if you see these points, okay, if you see these points, there is no horizontal line, or you can say that the stress is constant over here, because as the strain is increasing, there is some or what change in the value of the stress. Okay, but every time we cannot take the different values of the stress. So what we will do in this case, here one line is drawn parallel to this earlier red line. Okay, so parallel to this line one line is drawn. So I will draw that line. I will try to draw the parallel line. Okay, and suppose now this line is meet this curve at this point. Okay, so then this point is projected over here, and the stress it is considered as, at this point, the stress, it is considered at it is 0.87 Fy is the stress, and the point where from where this line is drawn, this is again the point, it is called as proof strain, it is 0.02. Okay, इथे जसं तुम्ही घेतलं होतं ना concrete मध्ये 0.02, 0.02 strain. Okay, this strain is very important, 0.02. So again from this 0.02 strain, one line is drawn which is parallel to this red line, and on that curve, where that line touches that curve, that point is marked on over here, and that point we take it as 0.87 Fy. This is done for HYSD steel. Okay, this is for HYSD steel. Okay, now the next point here is stress block parameters. Now what are these stress block parameters? That we will see now. Okay, so now suppose a beam is there, okay, and on that beam load is acting, vertically downward load is acting. Then what will happen? The bending moment will be the sagging bending moment. Beam will sag if the downward load is acting. Then tension will be created at the bottom obviously, and compression is created at the top. Okay, so if I draw the cross section of the beam, if I draw the cross section of the beam over here, so this is the cross section of the beam, then I will draw one line of neutral axis. Okay, so suppose this is your neutral axis. So we have already discussed what is the neutral axis in the introductory lecture. Okay, and you know that what is neutral axis. This is your neutral axis. Okay, this is the neutral axis. Now here, if you see, this is the cross section. Suppose now this is a beam, cross section of a beam. Now I will give name to this. Suppose this is B is the width of the beam. This is B, which is width. Then here the reinforcement is placed. This is the placing of the reinforcement, and the effective depth is up to the this point. Okay, this is the effective depth, it is small d. All of you are aware about what is effective depth and what is what we can say overall depth. Please let me know in the chat box so that I will explain this, or if you are knowing about this effective depth and overall depth, then there is no need to explain it. Okay, and this total depth is the overall depth d. If you are knowing about this, what is effective depth and what is overall depth, then there is no problem. If you don't know what is effective depth and overall depth, please let me know in the chat box so that I will explain this to you. Okay, the session should be always interactive session. Often I have observed you are not replying. Okay, so I will tell you what is effective depth and what is overall depth. Okay, so now here, see, I will explain you in another diagram. We will come back to this later on. Suppose now this is a cross section of any beam, it may be there, it may be anything. Okay, this is the cross section. Okay. And what we will always do while providing the steel, जेव्हा जेव्हा आपण याच्यामध्ये reinforcement प्रोव्हाइड करणार आहे, reinforcement कुठं असते नॉर्मली, इथं बॉटम. हे जे स्टीलचे बार्स असणार आहेत हे असे प्रोव्हाइड केलेले असतात. Whenever we design the bars and we provide the reinforcement, it is not provided exactly at this line. Okay, हे लक्षात घ्या, इथं लगेच प्लेस केलेले नसतात, ते इथंच लगेच ठेवलेले नसतात. Okay, we left some distance and that is called as the cover. Okay, so this is called as the cover. If you see, from the bottom of this bar up to this end of the beam, whatever may be the distance, this is called as clear cover. What do we call it as? Clear cover. Okay, and this is nothing but your bar diameter. हे एवढं जे काय dimension असणार आहे, this is nothing but your bar diameter. Here if you see what is the concept of effective depth, now you will clearly understood that this is the depth of the beam. Okay, so this total from this point to this point, that is top to end, from this point to this total point, it is your effective depth. Okay, sorry, overall depth. Okay. But if you want to calculate the effective depth, then that effective depth will be, effective depth is nothing but from from top, okay, from the topmost fiber, it is the distance from the topmost fiber to the center of this bar, center of the reinforcement. Whatever may be this distance, this is called as effective depth, D. Okay, this is called as effective depth, D. Now how it is calculated? So if capital D is the overall depth is known to me, okay, capital D is the overall depth now suppose, and now if I want to know what is my effective depth, then how should I calculate this effective depth? This effective depth must be equal to overall depth minus this is clear cover, minus this is clear cover, minus here the bar diameter is there, this total distance is bar diameter is there, but we are considering it from the center of the bar, so this is called as half of bar diameter. It is half of bar diameter. Okay, so it is half of bar diameter. So if you see this, आता आपण याच्यामध्ये काहीतरी व्हॅल्यूज घेऊ. नाउ सपोज दिस D is 300. ओके, दिस क्लिअर कव्हर म्हणजे काय? सो आय विल टेल यू इन द मराठी. क्लिअर कव्हर म्हणजे काय? हे जे रिन्फोर्समेंटचे बार्स आहेत हे आपण तुम्ही कुठल्याही बीम मध्ये बघा, स्लॅब मध्ये बघा किंवा कॉलम मध्ये बघा. कॉलम जर कधी तुम्ही बघितला असेल तर ते रिन्फोर्समेंटचे बार्स हे कॉलमला चिकटलेले नसतात. जिथं तुमचं कॉन्क्रीट आहे तिथं एंडला आतमध्ये या बाजूला, ओके, या बाजूला असं ते चिकटून आलेले नसतात, त्याच्यामध्ये थोडा गॅप ठेवलेला असतो. सेम वे इथं सुद्धा रिन्फोर्समेंट प्लेस करताना बॉटमला किंवा टॉपला प्लेस करताना ते डायरेक्ट या टॉपमोस्ट फायबरला किंवा इथं बॉटम मोस्ट फायबर वरती ठेवलेले नसतात. ओके, they have placed at some distance. Okay, some clearance is kept over there, and that is called as the clear cover. Okay, that is called as the clear cover. A65 B21 lecture is not over yet. Why are you sending the roll numbers? So now this is called as the clear cover. Okay, that gap which is left. And now what is the effective depth? To understand the concept of this effective depth, let us assume this clear cover is 15 mm. Normally for beam it is 25 mm. Okay, normally for beam it is 25 mm. So now, and suppose the bar diameter is 10 mm, 10 mm bars are using, you are using 10 mm diameter bars, then your effective depth will be your overall depth, that is 300, minus your clear cover, that is 25 mm, minus the diameter is 10, so half of bar diameter is 10 by 2. Okay, in this way the effective depth is calculated. पासून हे जे खालची बॉटमची रिन्फोर्समेंट असते ना, त्या रिन्फोर्समेंटच्या सेंटर पर्यंतचं डिस्टन्स म्हणजे त्याला म्हणायचं इफेक्टिव्ह डेप्थ. ओके, सो दिस इज द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ इफेक्टिव्ह डेप्थ. So this is the effective depth, this D, whatever I have marked, this is the effective depth. Now we will see the strain diagram first. Okay, so how the strain diagram is there. So now let us assume, okay, I will draw one line. So the strain distribution along this cross section we will see now. Strain distribution along this cross section. Okay, so if you see the strain, then it is this type of diagram is there for strain distribution. Okay, now my diagram, I have not drawn the diagram as very correctly, but I think you can understand it. Okay. Strain distribution. This is your strain distribution diagram. Okay. So here your maximum strain is 0.0035, the maximum strain. And what is the strain at the bottom? If you see your strain at the bottom, this strain, it is 0.87 Fy upon ES plus 0.002. This is your tensile strain at the bottom. Okay, this is your tensile strain at the bottom, and this is your maximum compressive strain. Now again, if we see the stress distribution diagram, okay, before going to the stress distribution diagram, this is the neutral axis. Okay, so this depth of the neutral axis from top, the depth of the neutral axis, that is this distance, it is generally give the it is denoted by the letter XU. XU is the depth of the neutral axis. XU is nothing but it is the depth of the neutral axis. Okay, so now again, if I draw stress distribution, this is the important thing. Up to this point it is very easy to understand, but now the stress distribution, if I draw, so if I draw the stress distribution, then it will be, आपण ते ग्राफ बघितला होता, कसा होता कॉन्क्रीटचा ग्राफ. आता मी तुम्हाला ग्राफ सांगितला होता कॉन्क्रीटचा. What was the pattern of that graph? So it starts from the origin, that is parabolic, and afterwards, after some time, it is straight line after the strain value of 0.02. आणि हा तुमचा x axis असा x axis होता इथं. I am drawing in dotted x axis. Okay, and this is y axis. असं होतं. Okay, so हाच सेम पॅटर्न इथं पण फॉलो केला जातो in the stress distribution diagram. So this is your strain distribution diagram. This diagram is your strain distribution diagram, and now what we are drawing, it is your stress distribution diagram. So concrete behaves like this. So if I draw the stress distribution diagram now, so it will be, it is like this. Then this curve, this is the origin now. हा कर्व कसा आलाय origin मधनं, असा आलेला आहे ना. हा ग्राफ जर तुम्ही बघितला, if you see this graph from origin, it is parabolic. Okay, up to the strain value of 0.002, it is parabolic and it is straight line. So this is the, what we can say, origin now. Okay, हा origin आहे आपला. कसा येईल असा same curve? So it will be parabolic up to some point, and after that it must be straight line. After this it must be straight line. So this is the stress distribution. Okay, this is the stress distribution, and this point, if you mark at this point, if you plot this point over here, so at this point, what is the value of strain? It is 0.002. Okay. And now generally the fibers above the neutral axis are subjected to, okay, so here above the neutral axis compression is there, and below the neutral axis tension is there. So I will show over here the compressive force. This is my, this represents the compressive force which is there due to the concrete, because the fibers above the neutral axis are generally subjected to compression, that is we give name this as Cu. Okay, this is your cu, compressive forces. Then at the this level, okay, if I extend this level, okay, now understand at this level, here is the tensile force, because steel always carries tension. Okay, steel is provided for tension, so it is called as tu, tensile forces, tu, and this is the compressive forces, cu, and these are the tensile forces, tu. So this is the basic diagram for the limit state method. आणि हा प्रोफाइल असाच का आला, because concrete behaves like this. Okay, so because of which this profile is like this only. And now we will move to the IS code. I will show you this same in the IS code also. Okay, if you see in the IS code, now this is the IS code. Here if you see, the same graph is given. See, this is the graph. What we whatever we have studied up till now, this is given here in this graph, if you see it carefully. Okay, so this graph is, see, from this point up to this point, it is parabolic curve. Name is also given, it is parabolic curve. Okay, and after that you see that this is a straight line. So same type of behavior is there. This is the stress block parameters. So here you see the same type of behavior. Okay, for the curve, the same nature of curve is there, so if you want to draw the stress distribution diagram, this is the stress distribution diagram, then first this part, हा जो part आहे तुमचा, this part, straight line part, this is your straight line part, and this is the parabolic curve. Okay, this parabolic curve, this is your parabolic curve, and here the compressive forces are acting, because the above neutral axis compression is there, and below the neutral axis tension is there. Okay, and you also see that maximum stress, the strain here, this value we will see later on, 0.36 fck, that whatever written over here, that we will see later on. Just now you see, and this is the strain value, this is also given in the IS code, tensile strain. Okay, so the tensile strain, it is given as Fy divided by 1.15 ES plus 0.002. Okay, so, and here one more thing is there, factor of safety for steel. Okay, it is given as 1.15, and same way somewhere for the concrete it is also given. You read this. Okay, IS 456 2000, it is given in the detail. Now if we move further, these are the graphs which we have already seen for the steel. Okay, stress strain curve, and here whatever I have told you, that is this, this is the strain due to axial compression. Remember this, in examination for MCQ this question is asked many a times. Okay, 0.002 is the strain for axial compression, and 0.003, this is the strain for axial compression, axial compression plus bending. Okay, plus bending, axial compression plus bending. Okay, so these are some, what you can say, diagrams which I have told you right now from the IS code. Right now at the start it looks very tedious and complicated, but as soon as you uh, start the problem solving, then it will be very easy. Okay, so uh, we will move to this our whiteboard. Okay, so we will come back to the point again. So I will draw the beam now. Again, this is your neutral axis. This is the line of neutral axis. So if we see the strain diagram, if I draw it, now I will not draw the complete strain diagram. We are interested in the strain diagram of upper part. So I will draw it like this. So as you know that here the maximum strain is 0.0035. Okay. And similarly, if we go for the stress diagram, steel is placed. This is the cross section. Okay, this dimension is B, that I have already told you. This is D. This total dimension is D. Okay, and up to this point, this is the effective depth, small d, and this is called as XU, the depth of neutral axis. Okay, so now if I draw the diagram, so it will be in the straight line up to some point, and then there is a parabola. Okay, and the compressive force which is acting, okay, that force it is acting at this level, and the tensile force is acting at this level. Okay, now up to this point it is clear to you. Okay, so at this level your tensile force is acting, and at this level your compressive force is acting. We call this as Cu, this is Tu. Okay, you know that the maximum stress is 0.446 FCK. Just a while ago we have seen that. And at this level, if I project this level to the strain diagram, okay, this level here the value of strain is 0.002. So this is called as strain diagram. Okay, this is your stress distribution diagram, and this is your cross section of member. Here cross section of member. Okay, and this total, this XU is nothing but the distance of this neutral axis. This line is the neutral axis from topmost fiber, that is the XU. Okay, now we will calculate what are the values of different these forces. Okay, so now see over here, let us assume that if this is x1, this is total is xu. Okay, I assume that now we don't know what is this distance, so I will assume this is x1, this distance is x1, and this distance is x2. Why I am assuming it like this? Because I want to calculate what is the maximum value of Cu, and what is the formula for Tu, and what is the formula for Cu. Okay, for Tu it is very easy. What is the meaning of Tu? Tu is nothing but it is tensile force. Okay, it is tensile force. So how do we calculate the tensile force? You know the basic formula. Uh, it is stress is equal to, what is the basic formula? Stress is equal to F upon A. Sigma equal to F upon A. This is your basic formula. You know that. Okay, so if I reverse the formula, so I can write stress into area is nothing but force. So here I can write for tensile force, it is tensile stress into area, that is area of steel. Okay, because steel carries tension. Are you getting my point? Steel carries tension. Hmm? Steel is weak in compression, therefore we provided concrete. So now here tensile stress into area, tensile force is equal to tensile stress into area. So now the tensile force, that is Tu, is equal to, what is your tensile stress? Tensile stress is nothing but the tension developed here in this bar. Okay, tensile stress is nothing but whatever the tension developed over here. Okay, so this is the steel. So what is the maximum stress in steel? We have just now seen that. What is the maximum stress in steel? It is 0.87 Fy. Okay, into area of steel. Okay, area of steel. Let it be. I will write it as AST. AST means area of steel. So this is the expression for tensile force. It is 0.87 Fy into area of steel, where this 0.87 Fy is nothing but the maximum stress in the steel, and this AST is the area of steel. And stress into area is nothing but, it is force. Okay, it is force. So now we are doing this x1, x2. What is this? Why we are doing this? So there are two purposes behind this. Now we know what is the formula for TU, but we don't know what the formula can be applied for the CU. This is the first thing. And second thing, we want to calculate the distance of this CU force from top. ओके, या टॉप पासून सीयू चे डिस्टन्स किती आहे हे आपल्याला कॅल्क्युलेट करायचंय, म्हणून आपण हे सगळं करतो. तर त्याच्या आधी आय विल टेल यू वन मोर थिंग. दिस टीयू फोर्स, टीयू चं टॉप पासूनचं डिस्टन्स किती असणार आहे? हे व्हॉट इज दिस डिस्टन्स? हे डिस्टन्स म्हणजेच ही तुमची काय असणार आहे? इफेक्टिव्ह डेप्थ. ओके, दिस डिस्टन्स इज इक्वल टू दिस मच. दिस इज द इफेक्टिव्ह डेप्थ. So this distance is known to us. It is d. This distance is known to us. This is d. But we don't know what is this distance. हे जे आहे वरचं, we don't know about this one. Okay. आणि हे माहित नसल्यामुळे आपल्याला, so the distance between two forces here, this is called as lever arm. This is denoted by Z, and this is called as lever arm. तुम्ही फर्स्ट इयरला असताना ह्याचा कॉन्सेप्ट शिकलेला आहे, couple. So these two forces produces a couple. Okay, these two forces are produces a couple. What is couple? Two unlike parallel forces separated by a definite distance is called as a couple. Okay. So the distance between these two forces is z, that is called as lever arm. So this is the total distance d. Okay. So we don't know what is this distance, so that is why we are not able to calculate this z. And the second thing is, if this total distance is xu about the neutral axis, up to neutral axis, up to this point, this distance is xu. From top to neutral axis, this is xu. And if this is d, then this remaining will be d minus xu. I hope now I am very clear. If still anybody is having any doubt, you can ask me. Okay. So moving further, let us assume this is x1 and this is x2. Now consider this triangle. Okay, now I will draw this diagram separately so that you will not get confused. I will draw it once again. If you consider this now, here I have drawn this diagram only. Okay, this much of diagram I have drawn over there. So if you write all the values, so this is 0.0035. Okay, and somewhere here at this point somewhere the value of strain is 0.002. Okay, this total distance is how much it is. This total is xu आणि इथनं खाली तुमचा न्यूट्रल ऍक्सिस गेलेला आहे इथून. ओके, इथे न्यूट्रल ऍक्सिस आहे तुमचा आणि टॉप पासून न्यूट्रल ऍक्सिस पर्यंतचे डिस्टन्स, दिस इज नथिंग बट दिस इज युअर न्यूट्रल ऍक्सिस and the distance of neutral axis from top, it is xu. Now what we have assumed? We have assumed this distance as x1 and this bottom distance as x2. So that also I will mark over here. So this distance is x1 and this is x2. Now if you see this triangle, in these two triangles, I can use the principle of similar triangles. Okay, so I will give the name first. Let us say this is O, A, then this point is B, here it is C, and here it is D. So now I can write triangle OBA is similar to triangle ODC. See here, OBA. This triangle OBA is similar to triangle ODC. Fine. Now how they are similar, that A test and SS test, that part you see. झालेलं आहे तुम्हाला हे सगळं. So now triangle OBA and this triangle ODC are the similar triangles. So you know that similar triangles are having their sides in proportion. Okay, similar triangles are having their sides in proportion. So now here if we see, I will take the ratio now. So I can write OB upon OD must be equal to 0.002, or instead of writing the values, first I will write here DC upon BA. So now if I write the values OB is nothing but this distance. OB बघा इकडे OB काय? OB is nothing but it is x2, and OD, what is OD? OD is nothing but x1 plus x2, that is xu. That is xu. So if I write over here, OB is nothing but it is x2 divided by xu, which is equal to DC 0.0035 divided by BA 0.002. Now if you reshuffle the terms, we want this value of xu. So therefore xu is equal to, solve this, काय ते सांगा मला आन्सर. 0.0035 divided by 0.002, what you will get? 1.75. It should not be 1.75. See, we have make a small mistake over here. Similar triangles are having their sides in proportion. Okay, so if you take the ratio of the sides, then बघा तुम्ही काय केलं आधी, x2 म्हणजे लहान ट्रायंगल ची साइड आहे this. ओके, सो x2 divided by काय घेतलंय आपण, xu. See, this x2, this is the side of small triangle, divided by xu is the side of big triangle. ह्या दोघांचा रेशो घेतलाय, तर तेच इक्वल टू काय यायला पाहिजे. First you have taken this quantity of smaller triangle, so first quantity must be of the smaller triangle. It is 0.002 divided by 0.0035. Okay, so here we have made the small mistake, so we should write it. It is 0.002 divided by 0.0035. ओके, हे स्मॉलर ट्रायंगल घेतलाय ना आधी, मग इकडे पण घेताना रेशो घेताना आधी स्मॉलरची लेंथ तुम्हाला घ्यावी लागणार. फर्स्ट हे घेतलंय आपण, सेकंड हे घेतलंय टोटल. तसंच मग इथं पण फर्स्ट ह्याला घ्यावं लागणार, सेकंड ह्याला घ्यावं लागणार. ओके. After this, now let me know the answer. It is 0.002 divided by 0.0335. In decimal, let me know the answer. X2 is equal to 0.517 means what? How much it is? So I will write over here x2 is equal to 4 by 7 of xu. Is it right? X2 is equal to 4 by 7 of xu. Okay. So do it 4 by 7. Are you getting the answer near about this? Your 0.57. So now this is the value of x2. So we will calculate the x1 now. So here you know that xu is equal to what? It is x1 plus x2. दोघांचे addition केलं तर total मिळणार आहे. So now if we know the value of xu, from that we will calculate the x1. So x1 is equal to what? Xu minus x2. So minus 4 by 7 xu. Therefore x1 is equal to 1 minus 4 by 7. It is 3 by 7. Check the value. How much it is? Is it right? 3 by 7. Okay. So now these are the values of x2 and x1. Now remember these values. Now we will calculate what to evaluate the value of the force. Okay, to evaluate the value of this compressive force, we will calculate the area of this part. What is the area of this rectangular part and parabolic part? Okay, to estimate the stress intensity area under the curve. So here in the next part you can see, if I divide this into two area, this is our area number 1, this is area number 2. First area is the rectangle, second area is triangle, sorry, parabola. First is rectangle, second is parabola. So now if I see over here, area of rectangular part. So rectangle is there, so area formula is base into height. This is the formula for rectangle, so which is equal to, okay, so which is equal to, now if you come over here, now if you consider this rectangular part, so rectangular part is this much. Okay, so what is the value of that now? This is the base 0.446. This is the base 0.446, and this must be the height. ओके, हा एरो जरा मोठा झाला बरं का, हा थोडा इथं वर असते, थोड्या डिस्टन्स वरती असते. या पॉइंट पासून थोडं वर असतो एरो, इथं कुठेतरी असतो. तो एरो जाड झाल्यामुळे ते तिथे दिसायला लागलाय तुम्हाला. So this rectangular, what is the area of this rectangular? You need to consider this base into height. So this height is nothing but this x1. Okay. So now if I write over there, then it is 0.446 FCK, that is your base, into height is 3 by 7 XU. Okay, so x1 is 3 by 7. So now let me know in terms of FCK and XU. Do the calculation of this 0.446 and 3 by 7. Calculation properly. What is the value of x1 3 by 7 XU? So if you do it, how much it is 0.446 into 3 by 7? It is 0.19. Okay, it is 0.19. So now if you see, next is the parabolic area. So for the parabolic area of parabolic curve, what is the formula for that? It is 2/3 base into height. This is the area. So 2/3 base into height, it is 2 by 3 into, what is the base? So now again if we go there, see, now this is the parabola. I will use different color. So this is the parabola. This is the base. Okay, so this is the base. So how much is this dimension? 0.446. And what is the height? This corresponds to height. So this is your height, and here it is base. So base is 0.446 and height is your x2. Okay, height is x2. So put that value. So it is 0.446 FCK into 4 by 7 XU into 4 by 7 XU. So now let me know the answer. Tell me in terms of FCK and XU. Have you calculated the same? Okay, 0.169. Good. So it is 0.17. Okay, 169. I have rounded it up to 17. 0.17. So now what is the total area? So now total area under the curve. Okay, total area. So what is the total area now? If we add these two terms, it will be 0.19 FCKXU plus 0.17 FCKXU. Okay, FCKXU. So now total area is equal to 0.36 FCKXU. Am I right? 9 correct. FCK. Now when you multiply this total area by the width of the section, then you will get the compressive force. So what is the compressive force then? Compressive force Cu is equal to 0.36 FCK B into X. Cu is equal to 0.36. This is the important thing. And now if you see, B into XU means nothing but this area. This area is B into XU. Okay. And the maximum stress is 0.446 FCK. Now Cu is not acting at the level of maximum stress. Cu इथं act होत नाहीये. Cu is not acting over here. It acting somewhere here. Okay, where the just above this parabolic and straight line point. Okay, so the variation of the stress in the Cu is 0.36 FCK. So stress is 0.36 FCK and area is B into XU. ओके, ही जी डायग्राम आहे ही या क्रॉस सेक्शन वरती असणार आहे तुमची डायग्राम. Correct. So area is B into XU, that is the cross sectional area. So if you want to calculate the force, then that force works out to be 0.36 FCK stress. B into XU is nothing but area. Stress into area is nothing but force. Okay, stress into area is nothing but force. Now this is one part. The second thing is, if we want, now we want to calculate the distance of this CU from the top. That is the centroid from the top. Okay, that is the centroid from the top we need to calculate. So how do we calculate now? Just calculate the centroid like normal formula what we are always using, a1 y1 plus a2 y2 divided by a1 plus a2 to calculate the y bar. We want vertical distance. Correct now? I hope now this is clear to you. So now I will draw the separate diagram over here so that you will understand. Now see, this is your rectangular part. After that, this is your parabolic part, and the diagram is continued like this. Okay. Somewhere here, somewhere here, your CU force is there. Value is I have written over there. We want to calculate this. Suppose now this is our y bar, vertical distance. That is why I am telling this as a saying this as a y bar. This y bar we need to find out. Okay. Now in another diagram, again if I draw the same diagram, okay, I will draw the big diagram now. So now if I draw the dotted line over here, okay, now we will take the reference axis at the top while taking calculating the centroid first year applied mechanics. Okay, so while calculating the centroid, we will fix our reference axis either at the top or at the bottom. So here I will consider it at the top. Okay, from top I will calculate the value of y bar. So you know that the formula for y bar is nothing but y bar is equal to a1 y1 plus a2 y2, as there are two areas, one is rectangle, another is parabolic, divided by a1 plus a2. Okay, so a1 is this first area, y1 is what? The centroid of this rectangle from top, that is your y1. This distance is y1. The distance of the centroid from the top is y1, and the distance of the centroid of first figure from top is y1, and the distance of the centroid of second figure from top, this is nothing but y2. So we know that this total distance हे जे पूर्ण आहे हे किती आहे 4/7 xu आणि खालचं जे आहे हे 3/7 xu. So just by putting the values, what I will get now? If I put all the values over here, I will write just first a1. What is a1? A1 is area of rectangle that we have already found out. Okay, FCK into XU. This is your a1. What is a2? A2 is the area of parabola. That is also we have calculated. Then y1. What is y1? Y1 is the distance of this centroid from top. So this total, you know that this is x1, so it is x1 by 2. X1 by 2. Now what was the value of x1? We have calculated. What was the value of x1? Here, x1 is 3/7 xu. So we will use that value. So it is 3/7, 7 into 2, 14. So 3 by 14 x cube. This is the value of y1. Okay. Similarly, y2 is equal to. So now what is the y2? y2 is up to this point. But we know that या point पर्यंत किती distance है? Up to this point the distance is x1, and after that parabola is there. So what is the formula for parabola? Parabolaचा formula काय असतो? This is the parabolic curve and the centroid of the parabola is here. So what is the distance of the centroid from either edge? H by 3 for parabola. H by 3 is for triangle. It is not the triangle. Okay. So for the parabola, remember this formula. The centroid distance from this point, it is 3 by 8. Okay. And from opposite side, from this side, it is 5 by 8. Okay, 5 by 8 of this total length is L. Suppose now this total length is L. Now somewhere here the centroid of the parabola is situated. So its distance, if we want to find out from this point, okay, this distance, it is 3 by 8 L. 3 by 8 times L. And if you want it from this end, that is this end, then it is 5 by 8 times L. Okay, then it is 5 by 8 times L. मग आता आपल्या केसमध्ये कसं आहे की again I will draw the diagram. Now in our, what is our case now? Some part is, this much part is rectangular. Okay. And now the remaining part, this much of part is parabolic. Okay. So I complete this figure. And now we are measuring our y bar from top. So here the somewhere centroid is there, and from top this distance we want. This is our y2. This is nothing but this is our y2 from top to this point. This is our y2. But we know that from top, how much is this distance? This is your x1. बराबर है ना? That is your x1, which is equal to 3 by 7 xu. This value is x1. So now, if you observe this parabola, हे बघा, इथं इथं तुम्हाला 90 डिग्री दिसते, तर ह्याच्या इथे मग इकडनं जर 3 by 8 L घेत असताल तर इकडनं पण किती असायला पाहिजे? 3 by 8 L. Are you getting my point? Okay, and 3 by 8 L म्हणजे किती? Span किती याचा? What is the span? So if you see up to this point, हा जो पॉइंट आहे इथं रेक्टँगल, हा एवढा पूर्ण तुमचा काय होता? x1 होता. आणि त्याच्या खाली इथपर्यंत आपण काय घेतलं होतं? x2. आता मी डायग्राम मोठी काढली तुम्हाला समजावं म्हणून. आणि इथं आपला न्यूट्रल ऍक्सिस होता. Here the neutral axis is there, and from top to this neutral axis the distance is xu. Okay, from this topmost fiber, the xu is the distance up to the neutral axis. आता आपण टॉप पासून मेजर करतोय सगळं. Okay, so now your y2 will be, y2 is x1 plus, now from this point it is 3 by 8 x2. So if I put the values, then x1 is 3 by 7 xu plus 3 by 8 into x2 is 4 by 7 xu. So this is your centroid. At this point your centroid. So write it down that. Now I put all the values into the formula of y bar. Okay. So y bar is equal to ultimately y bar we have calculated from top. Okay, y bar इथं लिहितो मी at top. So from top we have calculated, and it is a1 y1. Okay, so a1 first area 0.19 fck xu. This is a1. Okay, first area. This is a1 into y1. What is y1? It is 3 by 14 into xu. This is your y1. Okay, first bracket is complete. A1 y1 plus. Now second is a2 y2. So just if you put the values, a2 y2 is a2, it is 0.17 fck into xu. This is your a2. And now y2. We have already calculated this y2 here. This is the y2. This term is y2. 3 by 7, whatever the term, I will write over there. So it is 3 by 7 xu plus 3 by 8 into 4 by 7 xu plus 3 by 8 into 4 by 7 xu. Okay, and whole divided by a1 plus a2. So 0.19 fck xu. This is your a1 plus what is a2? 0.17 fck xu. Okay, now if you solve this further, what we can do, we can take xu common from both the terms. Okay, fck is also common. Fck xu is common from both the terms. Okay, so that fck xu we will take common, and then from bottom also here see fck xu we can take the common from numerator. From denominator also fck xu we can take the common. So fck xu will get cancelled. It will get cancelled. Then here it is 0.19, 0.17. Then this calculation 3 by 7, 3 by 8. करा है calculation. Okay. And now after solving this finally, I think we will get this as a 0.416 xu. Okay. So therefore y bar at last we got the value as 0.42 xu. This is the value 0.42 xu. Is in terms of square. A1 y1 a2 y2 just simple formula is there. Okay. हा फॉर्म्युला ऑलरेडी तुम्ही वापरलेला आहे इन अप्लाइड मेकॅनिक्स. ओके, इफ यू फॉरगॉट दिस देन go through the books of applied mechanics, you will get this. Okay, it is very easy part. So now this is the lever arm distance. म्हणजे काय मिळालं नेमकं तुम्हाला आता एवढं सगळं केल्यानंतर? तर what you have got that, again I will go for the same, and then after parabolic part. तर हा जो आहे इथं जो कॉम्प्रेसिव्ह फोर्स ऍक्ट होतोय तुमचा, this compressive force which is acting over here, somewhere here. Okay, this compressive force, its value cu compressive force Cu is equal to how much its value 0.36 FCK. This is the stress and area is B into XU. Here the maximum stress is 0.446 FCK. Okay, and the distance, the major thing is this one, this distance. हे जे काय तुम्हाला लिव्हर आर्म मिळालेले आहे, this distance, this is nothing but it is 0.42 XU. आणि हे किती असणार आहे या लेवल पर्यंत? What will be the distance at this level from top? This distance from the top. हे distance किती आहे तुमचं? How much it is? 3 by 7 x1, no? It is 3 by 7 xu. हे म्हणजेच तुमचं काय x1 आहे ना? This is nothing but x1. हे म्हणजे x1 आहे. x1 is equal to what? It is 3 by 7 xu. म्हणजेच काय हे डिस्टन्स किती झालं आहे तुमचं? 3 by 7 म्हणजे 0.43 xu. If you round up, हे मी राउंड अप केलं होतं ना 0.416, तसंच जर ह्याला आपण राउंड अप केलं, if I round up this then it is 0.43 xu. हा जो तुमचा कॉम्प्रेसिव्ह फोर्स आहे, this compressive force, this lies just above this line by 0.1 xu. So this is 0.42 xu, but this total up to this point it is 0.43 xu. Okay, this is about the compressive force. Now again, if you, and at the same time here if I draw the horizontal line, this is your neutral axis. Okay, see, this is the line of neutral axis. And now if I extend this further, the below portion here at the level of steel, another force is there here, and this is tensile force Tu. This is the tensile force Tu. It is calculated as stress into area. So 0.87 Fy into area is AST. Okay. So ultimately, the distance between these two forces Z, this is called as lever arm. Z. What is the distance? This Z is equal to, okay, it is D minus this 0.42 XU. This is D minus 0.42 XU. Why it is D minus 0.42 XU? Because right from the top, right from this top to this point, it is your D. It is your D, effective depth, small d. Okay, effective depth. So it is D minus 0.42 XU. So this is the little introductory part. Okay. Now I know that you may not understand 50% part of this, but still you do one thing, whatever you learn today, okay, try to read it once again. जे काय तुम्ही नोट डाउन करून घेतला असेल काय असेल, so try to read it once again. While solving the problem, you automatically came to know about these concepts. Okay, just now remember these values. Okay, either you remember the derivation how these values comes out, or otherwise you by heart the values. For Cu this is the value, for Tu this is the value. Okay, so now today we will stop over here, and send me your attendance into the